So I had 3 guy friends, they're not my only friends, but we were pretty close. And I've had cuddles with all of them. Including some group cuddles. This stopped some years ago. In fact, 2 of them are in long-term relationships with 2 of my best friends. And they are aware of our history. Now, my BF and I have been together for about a year, and it's been the best relationship I've had. The thing is, my BF is a bit insecure because I'm his first. He's also aware of my history with my friends. I've assured him that this is in the past and I have no intimate attraction to them at all now, and that he's all I need. I actually asked my friends to never talk about this ever. However, the other night, we were all hanging out, and I headed out with a friend to get some stuff. When we get back, my BF's mood is much different. He plays it off, but I can tell something was bothering him. When we get back to my place, I press the issue, and he says my guy friends kept making Eskimo brother jokes, and how he got the leftovers, and told them about how good he must be if he can satisfy me the same way all of them couldn't. I was furious, and confronted my friends. They kept saying they were trying to man-up my BF since I told them he felt insecure about them. My BF kept trying to save face, saying things that the past is the past, but I can tell he's feeling down. I decided to cut off my friends because not only they disrespected my BF, but also me by calling me a leftovers. My 2 best friends keep saying that it's not a big deal and that me and my BF are overreacting. Also, how can I make this up to my BF? I tried to show him how much I want him by initiating cuddles, but he hasn't been in the mood. Relevant comments. Commenter, NTA for cutting off the 3 guy friends. If your other 2 of friends continue to make you feel in the wrong, I'd cut ties with them, too. YTA for telling any of them your BF was insecure about your past. You broke his trust and it's going to take more than initiating cuddles to gain that back. OP, I was trying to help. I've heard stories about a girl's past being exposed because their friends let it slip. I didn't want that to happen. I really thought my guy friends would understand. Commenter, those are not great friends. I think you are correct in cutting them off. They show a distinct lack of empathy and emotional intelligence. Apologize to your BF for sharing his insecurities, unless he specifically said that it was okay. Those were likely told to you in confidence and you broke that confidence. You're going to have to earn back his trust. I don't know the best way to do that, but it sounds like the 2 of you need to have a conversation. OP, he never said that it was okay. Looking back, I realize I really fudged up. He says he's fine, but he doesn't even want to touch me right now. Commenter, if your boyfriend dumps you, and he might, you need to realize 2 things. He's young, inexperienced, and this was traumatic for him. It's not him being insecure, it's you trusting shitty people that hurt him. Second, if he leaves, that's not a green light to go back to business as usual with this friend group. They shit on your trust and behaved like cruel children. That's stuff you don't look past. As for your best friends, they need to understand exactly what sort of sleazebags they're dating, and if they can't appreciate your anger, then let them know that when they become leftovers, maybe they'll understand. OP, I will never touch them again. Even if my BF breaks up with me. Update number 1. Hello everyone, it's been a long couple days, and my BF has finally opened up. He said he's glad I cut off my friends, and that he wasn't gonna ask me to do it, but if I hadn't he would have left. He said he doesn't want to break up over this, as it wasn't something wrong I did. He gets that most people have a past and that I didn't even know him back then. He said it just became too real when my ex-friends opened their mouth. He's also mad at me because I told them his insecurities, something that I know was a horrible mistake. I apologized profusely and promised it was never gonna happen again. He also says he feels inadequate and inferior. He said, how the hell am I supposed to compare? I'm just one guy. I assured him that he's way better than them. And that he's all I want from now on. We kept talking for a while, eventually, we hugged it out. He says he doesn't feel ready to have cuddles again, and asked me to respect that. Which I agreed to. He also says he doesn't want to hang out with any other former partner. He says he won't freak out of anything if we run into one at like a party or something, but he won't hang out with them. Which is more than fair after what happened. One of my best friends reached out and apologized for what she said. She thought my former friends just mentioned our history and my BF got all insecure, but didn't realize just how horrible they were. She said she broke up with him already. I haven't heard from the other friend. As for me, I feel absolutely disgusting knowing I let those guys touch me. And I know I fucked up when I told them about my BF's insecurity. Still, that doesn't excuse just how horrible some of your comments were. I take full responsibility for disclosing my BF's insecurities, but most of you just wanted to shame me for having cuddles in the first place. I didn't hurt anyone just for having groups cuddles. But I did fudge up by calling the wrong people my friends. To those of you who were more understanding, but still rightfully called me out for my carelessness with my BF's feelings, thank you. Update number 2. Hello everyone. It's been a few weeks since the whole incident happened. While a lot of you were horrible in the comments, I appreciate the few of you who were more supportive. My BF and I seem to be back on track now. He's back to his old self and has been very loving and sweet. I've been as affectionate as possible without being intimate. I've been making him meals, got him a couple of gifts, and complimented him. We had a deep talk about boundaries, and we talked out what happened. He forgave me for talking about his insecurities to my friends. And I promised him that I won't ever do anything like that again. We also talked about his insecurities. By the way, he's fully aware of my previous posts, and say it's fine because no one knows who we are. Well, after I assured him he's the best I've had, which is true, and that I don't want anyone else but him, well, he got his confidence back, and he wasn't shy to show me. So things are good now with us. I've learned my mistake. As for my former friends, I've blocked them on everything, and I have no desire to ever see them again. I think this is gonna be my last update, and while I don't expect my relationship to never have problems again, I think we've moved on from this now. Relevant comments. Commenter, you're fortunate to have a forgiving boyfriend when it comes to something like blurting out his insecurities. You know he would be just as right to walk away after a betrayal like that. OP, I'm fully aware he has every right to break up with me, but he forgave me, and I'm grateful. And I won't ever betray him again. Top comments. Commenter, I'd caution you not to assume you've moved on entirely. Shit this dramatic can be buried but has a way of working to the surface under stress. You're working hard to repair the hurt and that's great. He's more forgiving than many would be. You're very lucky he's very mature at his age. I know it sounds extreme but things like this can sometimes create PTSD-like symptoms. You don't have to walk on eggshells but just be aware that it's buried, not gone. Update 2. AIO at my friend asking me and my BF if we want a three-way cuddle so my BF doesn't miss out. My BF is pretty inexperienced compared to me. And that's perfectly fine, he's still the best I had. My friend knows about this. She asked if my BF would want to try having both of us so he can catch up to me. Thankfully, my BF said no. To be honest, it may sound selfish, but I want him all to myself. But I'm pretty upset that my friend even brought this up. Edit, something I need to bring up is that me and my friend and I have shared before. Relevant comments. Commenter, does your friend know you're not in an open relationship? Seem rude AF. Plus, the whole body count for experience is bullshit. OP, she knows, but she's always been pretty sexually open. To tell the truth, we've shared before. Commenter, did she ask only you or did she ask while your boyfriend was present? If she asked you, then you could have said, no, I don't feel comfortable with sharing ATM. If she asked while your boyfriend was there it gets a lot more uncomfortable in my opinion. How did he react to it? I think I would be weirded out a lot more in his position than in yours TBH, make sure to let him know that you are happy he doesn't want to try others, and is happy just being with you and that you feel the same. Otherwise you might risk him overthinking that you want him to a practice, or STH. OP, she asked my BF while I was right there. It was just us, and I'll be honest, knowing my friend, she would have done it right there and then. I'm sure she would have kissed him as soon as he said yes. My BF just laughed it off and said no. He probably had no idea that my friend was ready to do it right there and then. Update 3. Hello everyone. I had a talk with my friend. Just so you all know, my BF is fully aware of my history with my friend. I told her I didn't like what she asked my BF, especially because she didn't say anything to me. She was confused, and just thought I'd be into it. I told her that I don't want to share my BF at all, and even if I did, she needs to ask me first. She told me, wow, you really love this guy, don't you? She then apologized and promised not to do anything like that again. She did mention that if me and my BF ever change her mind to let her know. I also had a talk with my BF. I asked him if he would ever regret saying no to my friend. He was sweet, and said that as long as he has me, he doesn't want another woman. I did tell him that I also don't want to share him with anyone. He took it as a compliment, and we had a nice night. Relevant comments. Commenter, definitely not a friend. OP, besides this, she's always been supportive of me. She's been there for me during tough times. She just has poor boundaries when it comes to this kind of stuff. OP on having a polyamorous relationship. OP, I was never really fully a poly. It's not like I ever considered anyone I had poly cuddles with my SO. It was just something I was having fun with. I doubt it was his bedroom technique that won you over. He's still the best I've ever had. Maybe it's the love hormones, or maybe he's just naturally talented, or maybe we just meshed perfectly. He's always passionate and always eager to please me. Which makes me more eager to please him, and that makes him more eager, and so on. But I didn't give up that a poly scene for him. I never wanted to be in a full poly relationship. I used to think that maybe I'd be willing to try some group stuff with my SO, so maybe the me before I met my BF would have taken up my friend's offer, as long as my SO was cool with it, of course. But now I find myself obsessed with my BF. He's genuinely fun to be around, and he's smart and goofy at times. He has a good job, but so do I. He makes a bit more than me, but he's not like Rich. He's mature and very thoughtful, but he's very sexual forward when he wants to be. To be honest, if he had never told me I'm his first, I might have not figured it out. I guess I feel more than satisfied with my BF, emotionally, mentally, and sexually. And I want all of that to myself. I feel like it's a package deal. Like, I feel if I share my BF with another woman, I'd be sharing all the other things that I love about him. Update 4. Hey everyone, so, life has been a roller coaster lately, and I honestly didn't think I'd be back here updating you all. But here we are, and things have taken a bit of a turn, some good, some. Well, I'll let you be the judge. After that whole conversation with my friend about boundaries, things seemed to settle down. My boyfriend and I were in a good place, we'd gotten past the awkwardness of the earlier drama, and honestly, I felt closer to him than ever. We were talking more openly, sharing more about our lives, and for the first time in a while, I felt like we were truly on the same page. But then. Yeah, life's never that simple, is it? Last weekend, my friend, the same one who offered the three-way cuddle, invited us over for a casual get-together. She promised it would be chill, just a few friends, some drinks, nothing crazy. My boyfriend was hesitant, but I convinced him to go, thinking it would be a good way to show that we're moving past all the weirdness. Big mistake. The night started off fine, laughs, drinks, some light-hearted games. But then, out of nowhere, my friend brings up a story from our past. Nothing too explicit, but enough to make my boyfriend visibly uncomfortable. I shot her a look, hoping she'd get the hint, but she just kept going, as if she was trying to prove some point. That's when another one of our mutual friends, someone I hadn't seen in ages, chimed in with their own memories, which involved me and some old flings. My boyfriend's face went pale, and I could see him mentally checking out of the conversation. I tried to steer the topic away, but it was too late, the damage was done. We left the party early, and the ride home was painfully silent. When we got back to my place, he just sat on the couch, staring at the floor. I tried to talk to him, but he just shook his head and said, "I need some time to think." That's when the panic set in. I didn't know if he was rethinking our entire relationship, or if he was just overwhelmed. I asked if he wanted me to leave him alone, but he said he wasn't sure what he wanted. So, I gave him space, which was the hardest thing I've ever had to do. The next morning, he was gone. Not gone, he'd just gone back to his place, but he left a note saying he needed some time to figure things out and that he'd reach out when he was ready. That was 3 days ago. I haven't heard from him since. I've been a mess. I can't sleep, I can't focus on anything, and I keep replaying the night in my head, wondering what I could have done differently. I've been texting him, but he hasn't responded. I even considered going over to his place, but I know that would probably push him further away. The worst part? My friend hasn't even apologized. She texted me the next day, acting like nothing happened, and when I confronted her about how uncomfortable she made my boyfriend, she just said, "He'll get over it." He's too sensitive. I'm so angry I can't even think straight. I don't know what's going to happen next. I'm scared that I've lost the best thing that's ever happened to me, all because of some stupid, careless words. And the worst part is, I don't even know if I can fix it this time. I'm trying to give him space, but it's killing me inside. Every time my phone buzzes, I pray it's him, but it never is. I don't know what to do. Thanks for listening. I needed to get this out, even if there are no easy answers. Relevant comments. Commenter, your friend is toxic, plain and simple. It sounds like she's trying to sabotage your relationship. Maybe she's jealous? Either way, she's not your friend. OP, I'm starting to see that now. It's hard because she's been in my life for so long, but after everything that's happened, I'm realizing she might not have my best interests at heart. Commenter, you need to let your boyfriend know you're there for him, but also give him the space he asked for. As hard as it is, crowding him right now might make things worse. OP, I know you're right. I just hate feeling so helpless. But I'll give him the space he needs. Commenter, this situation sucks, but if he really loves you, he'll come back. Just be ready to talk things out when he does. And maybe consider cutting out the toxic friend for good. OP, if he gives me another chance, I'm ready to do whatever it takes to make things right. As for my friend, I'm done. I can't have someone like that in my life anymore. Update 5. Hey everyone, it's been a whirlwind, and I wasn't sure if I was going to update again, but a lot has happened, and I need to vent. After 3 agonizing days of silence, my boyfriend finally reached out. He texted me late at night, asking if we could meet up and talk. I was relieved but also terrified about what he was going to say. We agreed to meet at a small cafe we used to go to when we first started dating, a place that's always felt safe and nostalgic. When I walked in, I could tell he was still hurting. He looked tired, like he hadn't slept much either. We exchanged awkward hellos, and then he got straight to the point. He said he'd been thinking a lot, trying to sort through his feelings. He admitted that the whole situation had shaken him more than he expected, not just because of what was said at the party, but because it made him question whether we were on the same page about our relationship. He said that while he appreciated me cutting off those old friends, he's worried that there's always going to be something or someone from my past that creeps back in and causes issues. I was honest with him. I told him that I've been doing a lot of thinking too, and I understand why he feels that way. I admitted that I hadn't been as careful as I should have been with my friendships and boundaries, and that I regret how things have played out. I assured him that I'm committed to making our relationship work and that I'm willing to make whatever changes are necessary. Then, he dropped a bombshell. He told me that while he loves me, he's not sure if he can ever fully get past the things that have happened. He said he's been battling with feelings of insecurity and inadequacy ever since our old friends made those awful comments, and while he knows it's not my fault, he can't shake the feeling that he'll never be enough for me. He said it's not just about the past, it's about how he feels in the present, and he's not sure if that's something that can be fixed. I was stunned. I knew he was struggling, but I didn't realize how deep it went. I asked him if he wanted to take a break, to give us both time to figure things out. He hesitated, then said he wasn't sure if a break would help or just prolong the inevitable. That's when I panicked. I could feel him slipping away, and all I wanted to do was grab onto him and never let go. I told him that I love him, that I want to be with him, and that I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make this work. I said that he's not just enough for me, he's everything. I could see he was trying to process everything, but there was still a wall between us. He told me he needed more time to think, and I agreed, even though it killed me inside. We left the cafe with a hug that felt more like a goodbye than anything else. As I watched him walk away, I realized that I might have to accept that this could be the end. Later that night, my friend texted me. I didn't respond right away because, honestly, I wasn't sure if I ever wanted to talk to her again. But she kept messaging, saying she wanted to clear the air. She claimed that she didn't mean to cause any issues and that she just wanted to help my boyfriend see that he doesn't have to be insecure. I lost it. I finally replied, telling her exactly what I thought of her so-called help. I told her that she's crossed every line imaginable and that I don't want anything to do with her anymore. She tried to backtrack, saying she didn't realize how serious things were between me and my boyfriend, but I wasn't having it. I blocked her right then and there. As for my boyfriend, I haven't heard from him since our talk at the cafe. It's only been a day, but it feels like an eternity. I don't know if he's going to come back to me or if he's going to decide that it's too much to handle. The uncertainty is driving me insane, but I'm trying to respect his need for space. I've been replaying everything in my head, wondering if I could have done something differently. Part of me is terrified that I've lost him for good, but another part is trying to be hopeful that maybe, just maybe, we can work through this. Thanks again to those of you who have offered support. Relevant comments commenter, I feel for you, but honestly, your boyfriend needs to decide if he can handle your past or not. It's not fair to either of you to stay in a relationship where one person is constantly questioning their worth. OP, I agree. I just wish I knew how to make him see that he's everything to me. But I know it's something he has to figure out for himself. Commenter, it sounds like you've done all you can. Now it's up to him. But don't forget to take care of yourself, too. This is a lot for anyone to deal with. OP, thank you. I'm trying to stay positive, but it's hard when everything feels so uncertain. I'm just hoping we can come out of this stronger. Commenter, your friend was never a friend. You did the right thing by cutting her out, but it might take time for your boyfriend to see that too. Stay strong, and I hope things work out for you both. OP, I'm realizing now that she was more toxic than I wanted to admit. I just hope it's not too late to fix things with my boyfriend. Update 6. Hey, everyone, I didn't think I'd be writing this, but after everything that's happened, I feel like I owe you all some closure just as much as I needed it myself. This will be my final update, and let me tell you, things have taken quite the turn. After that last talk with my boyfriend at the cafe, I was stuck in a limbo of uncertainty. I gave him the space he asked for, but every hour felt like an eternity. I couldn't eat, couldn't sleep, and my mind was racing with all the what-ifs. What if he decided I wasn't worth the trouble? What if he couldn't get past everything that happened? What if this was really the end? Then, 2 days after our meeting, I got a text from him. It was short, just asking if I could come over to his place that evening. My heart was pounding as I read it, and I honestly didn't know what to expect. Was this going to be the breakup talk? Or was there a chance he wanted to make things work? When I arrived at his apartment, I could barely keep my hands from shaking as I knocked on the door. He opened it and, to my surprise, he looked more at ease than he had in days. He invited me in, and we sat down on the couch, the same one where we'd shared so many happy moments before everything went south. He started by telling me that he had done a lot of thinking about us, about his insecurities, about everything. He said that the days apart had been tough for him too, but it gave him the clarity he needed. He admitted that he had been holding on to his insecurities like a crutch, using them as an excuse to push me away when things got tough. He told me that he realized he was letting other people's words and actions control how he felt about himself and our relationship, and that wasn't fair to either of us. Then, he dropped a bombshell that I wasn't expecting. He had reached out to a therapist. He told me that he needed to work through his issues, not just for our relationship, but for himself. He said he wants to be the best version of himself not just for me, but because he deserves to feel confident and secure in who he is. He's already scheduled his first appointment, and he's committed to doing the work. Hearing this, I felt a wave of relief and admiration wash over me. This was the man I fell in love with, the one who is willing to fight for what matters. But that wasn't all. He then took my hands, looked me in the eyes, and said something that took my breath away. He told me that he loves me, and that he doesn't want to lose me over something that's in the past. He said he realized that our relationship is worth fighting for, and that he wants to build a future together. But and this is a big but, he asked for one thing: total honesty from now on. He wants us to be completely transparent with each other, to never hide our feelings or fears, no matter how uncomfortable it might be. I couldn't hold back the tears as I told him that I was all in. I promised him that I would be completely honest, that I would never let anyone or anything come between us again. We both cried a little, and then we just held each other for what felt like hours, both of us soaking in the relief of finally being on the same page. And then, in a moment that felt almost surreal, he leaned in and kissed me softly at first, then with all the passion that had been building up over these past few tumultuous weeks. It was like every bit of tension between us melted away in that kiss, and all that was left was the love that had brought us together in the first place. After that, things moved quickly. He pulled me into his arms and carried me to his bedroom, where we spent the night reconnecting in the most intimate way possible. It wasn't just about the physical, it was about rebuilding the trust and closeness that we'd both been missing. For the first time in weeks, everything felt right again. The next morning, as we lay tangled in each other's arms, he looked at me and said, "I'm not going anywhere." And I believed him. But the story doesn't end there. A few days later, I got a call from my other friend, the one who hadn't reached out after everything went down. She was crying, saying she'd heard from our mutual friend, the one I blocked, that I'd cut ties with her and everyone else. She apologized for not being there for me and admitted that she had been too caught up in her own relationship drama to see what was really happening. She told me she had also broken up with her boyfriend after realizing he was toxic, and that she missed having me in her life. I took a deep breath and told her that while I appreciated her apology, I needed some time to think about whether I wanted to rebuild our friendship. I realized that I needed to prioritize the people who truly cared about me, and that meant setting boundaries, even if it was hard. So, where does that leave us now? Well, my boyfriend and I are stronger than ever. We've been focusing on building a healthier relationship, and I've been supporting him as he starts his therapy journey. We've also decided to take a break from hanging out with certain friends, just to give ourselves some breathing room. As for my so-called friend, the one who caused so much drama, she's out of my life for good. I don't need that kind of negativity, and I'm done making excuses for people who don't respect me or my relationship. It's been a wild ride, but I feel like we've come out of it stronger. We've still got a long way to go, but I'm hopeful. For the first time in a while, I feel like we're on the right path. And with that, I'm signing off. Here's to new beginnings.